Yes, put it in my butt. Rock and roll all night. 45 degrees in Kansas City. Odd memories showing up here. Some girls don't get the dirty talk, Nick.
I don't have a choice. I've been subjected here.
Yeah, you've learned. If you were ever thrown into a situation where you had to bring the filth, I feel like you would come in strong. I feel like you'd be a
I don't think it'd be
medalist.
Sexy.
No. Well, listen.
I think it'd be someone's weird, disturbing fetish, maybe. But
it's all relative, right?
Right.
It's like I was telling my daughter, as a guy, you almost never turn down something new if a girl asks you. But we were laughing because there was a time with a girl. She was terrible at dirty talk, but she decided she wanted to try something new, and it just came off sounding just like Beavis. What she said.
Which is sexy.
Put it in my butt. Put it in my butt. That's the only time I literally was like, I don't think I can. Hey, John, put it in my butt. Yeah. Her voice is a little higher, but yes.
Barely.
Yes. But that's in my head. That's exactly what it sounded like. By the time it left her actually very sweet voice to go into my noggin, it turned into Beavis. I was like, I don't think we're going to have to do this another time.
I wanted to.
Not everybody was born to talk dirty. No. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just, and I think Mike's an odd duck because he doesn't like it when you drop any curse words, right? Like, as a rule, like, he kind of gets like, come on.
He gets uppity, yet he's exactly the same.
Of course he is.
Like, it just depends on what your mood.
He's a man, you're a lady. Ladies don't cuss. Boys cuss.
You're
right?
effing right.
But isn't that...
But, he'll get moments where he's like, quit cussing. And I'm like...
Did you start calling him things that he is?
He said something ridiculous to me, and I was like, bitch, you know better. And he's like, but it ran into a conversation that we were wrapping up about his mom. He's like, don't call my mom a bitch. I'm like, I was calling are you out of your mind? She's the nicest woman ever. I was calling you a bitch. That's what I was just acknowledging. And I wasn't kidding. And I think it all it took a corner. So I was like, I'm just kidding.
Stop.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't think that you are.
I had another friend. Every time you'd see him, he'd overly yell, "What's up, bitch?" I've had about enough. I was like, "Do it again, do it again."
One more time.
I'm gonna give you the bitch treatment. Guess what? Well, I'm gonna give you what I like to call the bitch slap. And it wasn't that. It's just, sometimes people get stuck on something. You're like, do you do this to everyone you meet? You just yell, "What's up, bitch," in their face?
Some people do, yes.
It's a lot.
It is a lot, especially depending on what business you're in. Like, if you're at an establishment.
Oh, it didn't matter where you were.
Yeah, oh, no, it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, no.
At all. They're like.
I'm like, I don't feel like we're that tight. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a good circle of people you'd be fine with, and then there are others you're like, shut up.
Yeah, I know.
White devil!
It is what it is sometimes.
Oh, well.
Now, when you're a man like me, a Christian, I'm always looking to take the easy way and make people feel good. It's offensive. I'm just saying. Your mouth like I do.
Oh.
Dude, I learned the C word from my mom.
That is something, by the way.
Well, she's English. That's just the way it is.
That's fairly impressive in its own weird way.
Yeah. No, she was fond of that word.
She'd just toss it right out there.
Oh, yeah, well, it's English. That's just the way it is. If you call somebody that in England, it's not a big deal. Here, every like uptight Joko white lady has like, oh, my God, Heath used the word.
The word?
Yeah. You know why it bothers you so much? Because you know that's exactly what you are. That's what you be.
Your name is face. You fucking face. Blam! Face. Blam! Face. Blam, bitches.
Oh, there are several ways to irritate a lady. You could mention that her hat's gone out of style. Oh, that's sure to get a miffed. It's bound to cause a tiff. But here's a little trick to go the extra mile. Give and get a little kick in the butt. Ah, kick in the butt. How's about a nice kick in the butt? You'll sure have us stumped if you go for the punt with a jolly good kick in the cunt. Now, you might want to suck her a club in the chopper, so shock up and making her grab it and knockers, but she'll call the coppers and you'll end in jail where you eat bread and water and shit in a pail. So if you've enough of a womanly guff, no need to be rough, it'll be quite enough to call her bluff with a huff and a puff. Just stuff your foot straight into her muff.
Celebrating birthdays today, Joe Buck is 54.
Joe Buck is without question one of the most hated sportscasters around. With the exception of St. Louis, I don't think there's a single city that holds him dear. Thankfully, though, now that he's only doing Monday Night Football, we only have to listen to him talk shit on Kansas City once this year. Happy birthday to Joe Buck. Remember back in 2011 when he suffered vocal paralysis stemming from the anesthesia used in multiple hair transplant operations? Yet, sadly, his voice came back. So all of you football players out there who thank God for your touchdowns, the fact that Joe Buck can still speak proves there is no God.
Also,
by the way, he looks like the human Butthead. Is it Beavis or Butthead? But he looks like one of them.
the blonde, obviously, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, but with the bulbous head with the tiny chin, the pointy chin thing. Yeah, dude, he does. He looks just like that to me. I don't know him. I know people hate him.
There are people that do have a passionate hate for him.
I could barely pick him out in a crowd, but after Jake espoused, because you hate him a lot, right, Jake?
Yeah, I am not a fan.
Yeah.
All the way back to his father before that.
Jake.
I love that idea. That Jake hates the precursor to Joe Buck.
Whole family
Well, not only was he a dick with the Royals and the Madison Bumgarner, the pitcher for San Francisco, but also if you watch him and you play the drinking game, and you will be plastered by the time the first quarter starts. When he and Troy Aikman call games together, he can't stand it when, like, if the two of us are broadcasting on TV and you're talking, I'll usually turn to you, like, even on camera, and be like, what else do you have to say or whatever. When Troy Aikman speaks, Joe Buck will turn to the camera and smile. He's every time because he
That's
can't.
uncomfortable.
It is wildly uncomfortable. But if you drink every time he looks at the camera and smiles while he's not talking, you will be blackout drunk by halftime.
See, I'd have to look at Troy Aikman just because I'd be so uncomfortable staring. Maybe it's because he can see his reflection in the lens, and he's like, "I am beautiful."
Oh, every time. If you look up
I see myself.
just look up any YouTube, Google Joe Buck looking at himself and smiling, and you'll see it'll be never ending.
I love the idea though that you would meet Joe Buck and tell him you hated his father too.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what
a
I really
long line
care
of St. Louis dicks that I don't care for.
I hate you, Joe Buck, but let me tell you, I hated your father before I hated you.
Yeah.
You're like a junior hate, but I really hated your dad.
Yeah.
I hate your dad because he effed your mom and you came out and nobody had an abortion.
Yeah.
I've never been more pro-choice as a Christian than I am with you, Joe Buck.
As I stand here in front of you, your dad was a bigger dick because he made you.
Yes. Yeah. He also had a full head of hair. A complete loss. Joe Buck. Joe Buck's he doesn't look very big on TV.
I don't think he's very big.
Also celebrating birthdays with people you may hate. Jake, NBA great Tim Duncan's 47. Brock Myers star Hank Azaria's
Love him.
59. Amen. And our pal AJ is celebrating his birthday today.
Our buddy AJ is one of the OG members of the Rock staff. The man has certainly been here for a while. And here's hoping that you get to spend at least part of the day smoking some weed and playing frisbee golf and recover from the PTSD that you got filling in on the morning show before we hired Kyle. Happy birthday to our own AJ. While it's true that he is one of the best production guys in the business, I am reasonably sure that his brief tenure on the morning show shook his faith in humanity, maybe gave him a nervous tick, and possibly led to some pants pooping. Happy birthday, AJ, and sorry for crushing your soul. He is the OG. He was the first employee to ever be hired at The Rock. He was
Didn't know that.
He was the original. No, because he came from Oklahoma with Doug Sorensen. So when the late Doug Sorensen, got hired to create this radio station, he was literally the very first employee ever hired.
Yes, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Good for you, AJ.
AJ, I know. He's
F off.
this is his voice.
Keep f***ing off.
This is AJ.
Keep f***ing off until you get to a gate with a sign saying, "You can't f*** off past here." Climb over the gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep f***ing off forever.
I'm Johnny Dare, and I approve this message. Yeah, that's AJ's voice. He is the best. He's the original. He is the heart and the soul of this place.
In news this morning, President Joe Biden has formally announced he is running for re-election in 2024. Made the announcement this morning. The Democratic president is asking voters to give him more time to, quote, finish the job he began when he was sworn into office and set aside their concerns about extending the run of America's oldest president for another 4 years. Biden would be 86 at the end of a second term. President, by the way, has already said Vice President Kamala Harris will run alongside him. Today marks 4 years since he declared the 2020 candidacy. Don't know if you heard, there were some announcements yesterday. Longtime host Tucker Carlson and Fox News have parted ways. In a statement, the network said Carlson's last program was this past Friday. They thanked him for his service as a host and contributor. Tucker was Fox's top-rated primetime host with an audience of over 3 million viewers per night. Comes after Fox News agreed to pay over $787 million to settle a defamation lawsuit from Dominion Voting Systems over the network's coverage of former President Trump's claims of voter fraud. And of course, you know that they had messages that they brought up from Tucker Carlson as well.
Oh, it was not going to go well. You know why they smoked him? Because that first lawsuit had to get settled $787 million ahead of time, and there's a second one coming that they want even more money.
Yep.
So this happens in radio, too. Like, that's the other way you get smoked. Even if your ratings are great, if you know the big fine's coming, like the big thing, they're like,
it's too much.
We got to show them something, and they just go, what? They used to have a middle ground where they'd fire the program director, like if the show did something.
Yeah.
Then they'd shoot the program director. Like that was some kind of a sacrifice. Like, see, we killed someone. We did it.
We're still doing this.
Not the people who did it, but, you know.
No.
Someone had to die.
Yeah. We want you to make sure that you notice that they're gone.
Yeah. So that's what happened with that guy. That's what happened with him because he was making him a ton of money, man.
Tucker Carlson and other Fox hosts had been caught in private messages doubting their own network's allegations about Dominion's role in the supposed election fraud, while also being concerned that Fox was losing audience among Trump fans at the time. And some of them, Carlson privately criticized Trump, even saying he hated him passionately in messages. A few weeks ago, though, he had devoted his entire show to an interview with President Trump. And Fox News Tonight will air in Carlson's 8 p.m. Eastern time slot, hosted by a rotating array of network personalities for the time being.
Which will all have 0 ratings. But Tucker, look, he knew what was up. He was riding that whole ride. I mean, that's when he came to power, was 16. Mm-hmm. You know, that's when the ratings shot through the roof. He knew. Listen, it doesn't even matter. Like, of course he could write, I text the guy, I hate that guy passionately, but he knew how to get ratings. That's the key to entertainment, right?
Yep.
The problem was people kept taking it like it was real. Like, it's entertainment. And you know, let's like Rush Limbaugh, greatest act in the world. Rush started in Kansas City. And I try to tell people that, like, because he turned into another kind of a thing. But when he first started, it was all very wink and a nudge. And it was pretty funny. And he, you know, definitely played that Archie Bunker Republican thing.
Yeah.
But it was a shtick. You know, it was very much like he was a sports guy before that. Mm-hmm. But he found his place. He was from KMBZ down the road, down the hallway.
Yep.
But people, the reason they get too caught up in the whole thing and they want to believe that everything they hear is real. So you can't tell them, like, you know, he's just doing it because it's entertainment.
News, John.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know.
You passed that news on to us yesterday.
Yes.
I just got out of the doctor's office.
It came down, and I was like, oh, please let me be the first one to tell Mike.
I believe you were.
Oh, it feels so good.
Now that Tucker Carlson's lost his job, what will Mike watch at night? Probably some other white guy.
He finally got home last night. Just a total side note. And I just had something on TV. I go, hey, and it was like 7:10, let's say. Hey, you can watch whatever you want. I'm not watching this. I mean, I put on Tucker, but his last show aired Friday.
You know, laugh.
What else you want?
No laugh. No laugh at all.
I don't care.
Yeah.
On the flip side, longtime CNN host Don Lemon's been fired by the cable news network a little over 2 months after apologizing to viewers for on-air comments about Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley. CNN announced Lemon's departure yesterday as well. Host said in a Twitter post that he was stunned by the move and said he was informed by his agent. Lemon had been with the cable news network for 17 years. CNN did not provide a public explanation for his departure. Back in mid-February, Lemon drew widespread condemnation for saying the 51-year-old Haley was, quote, not in her prime. Later said he regretted the comment.
Yeah, he was told, he said he better say that. And what else did he get in trouble for? He got in trouble for saying that women's, and actually, this is, I can even, hey, I don't watch either, by the way. Just for the record,
right.
A Don Lemon or a Tucker Carlson, they're just, I look at them like AIDS and cancer. I'm glad they're not in my life, and I feel bad for those that have them in their life, if that makes quality sense to anyone. But he said the reason women soccer players don't get paid as much as male soccer players is because they're not as enjoyable to watch. Therefore, they have less viewership. Mm-hmm. I went, how do you argue that? And they got all pissed off. And I go, what? We live in a ratings-based business. If it's not as much fun to watch, you can't charge as much. If I make a movie, no one pays. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? They make a giant Hollywood blockbuster, people pay.
Yeah.
It's more entertaining. It's how it works. But yeah, they crucified him for that one because, oh my goodness, he said women shouldn't. That's just the way it is. Sorry about that, people. Sorry about the way the world works. Real sorry about it's not all fair for everyone. Sorry.
In other news.
You're a realist. You know what I mean.
What made me laugh, the one comment when he was talking about Haley, talking about women in their prime.
I've never watched Don Lemon in my life.
Oh, no.
Listen, I, as a rule, stay away from all of that at all times.
If you put a switchblade to my head, I could not tell you what channel Fox News or CNN are located on my cable. Couldn't tell you.
I am going to use, if you put a switchblade to my head for the rest of my life. Listen, I couldn't tell if you put a switchblade to my head. That is a fantastic cross-phrase.
So I'm sorry to everyone else that's disappointed with these fire.
All I know is you put a gun to my throat.
More of that to come later in this news. This sucks. A widow is suing a cruise line alleging that it let her husband's body decompose after he died of a heart attack. Marilyn Jones' husband, Robert, had died on board the celebrity cruise ship Equinox. Her lawsuit says the cruise line told her the body would be properly stored in the ship's morgue until they returned to Florida in 6 days. But the lawsuit says the morgue wasn't working, so the body was stored in a much warmer walk-in beverage cooler. Lawsuit said the body decomposed to the point that an open coffin funeral was impossible. They're suing for $1 million. By the way, it was a six-day journey. I don't know if you know that. How much would that suck if anything happened to you and you truly had to wait it out? You couldn't go to a port?
I don't know why you couldn't arrange for a flight for a body home from wherever you went to the next place.
Anything.
Well, but then I guess you're trying to travel out of international areas with a body. So,
But like one thing referenced Puerto Rico, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you couldn't figure this out?
yeah, no, Puerto Rico, you should have been able to jam
Yeah.
it through. Yeah, of course.
Good luck, my lady. Did you hear about the gold heist?
Nope.
Pretty impressive. A lot of gold, other valuables, were snatched from a high-value shipping container at Canada's busiest airport last week. Heist unfolded.
Inside job.
Heist.
Was it the Lufthansa heist?
The heist unfolded after the cargo was unloaded from a plane shortly after landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport. They said, quote, as per normal procedure, the aircraft was unloaded. Cargo was transported from the aircraft to a holding cargo facility. Container contained high-value shipment. It did contain gold, but it was not exclusive to gold. It contained other items of monetary value. Police would not reveal where the shipping container had come from or its final destination. They also didn't elaborate on what exactly those other valuable items were inside. That said, the value of the stolen items exceeds $14.8 million, which would be $20 million in Canadian. The thieves managed to access the holding cargo facility via the public side of the warehouse that leads to a third-party warehouse is outside of the Greater Toronto Airport Authority and their primary security line. They said that the theft did not involve access to Toronto's airports. It didn't pose a problem for passengers. No arrests, though, have been made.
Yeah,
I
trust
stand
me.
with you.
That,
Inside job.
That could not be more of an inside job. There's no chance you'd know access, what do they call it? The bill of lading, the contents of everything that you've got to have, everything that it takes, how to get in, how to get into a container and steal $14 million worth of stuff that's inside of a container, which means chances are the gold's not the first thing you see when you open the doors.
How to even be tipped off that it would be there?
I know. It's
all inside.
With
Yeah.
the third-party
I picture Ray Liotta in the shower listening to the radio going,
Now the bodies start dropping. There's going to be a guy in an ice truck. Yeah. A husband and wife with a new Cadillac and a fur coat found shot under a bridge by a kid playing stickball.
The NFL draft is here in Kansas City this week. It kicks off just a matter of days. If you're headed downtown, you may need to get your plans in order. They're expecting between 300,000 to 400,000 people to attend the draft between Thursday night and Sunday afternoon, generating as much as $100 million for the local economy. But if you're headed to the draft, don't expect to go in without a game plan because parking will be extremely limited. Garages will be open at Crown Center and the Crossroads, West Bottoms, and even the River Market. There's an interactive map showing your parking options that you can go pull up on visitkcs.com's website.
What about going to Lawrence, parking your car, and then taking the train into Union Station?
I'll have to look into that because I saw...
Or take the train from Union Station, from Lee Summit, or isn't there a Lee Summit stop?
I saw somebody say something about Amtrak in a problem.
Well, Amtrak, so Amtrak
because
won't be
of
running.
Union Station.
Yeah, I think it's disrupting service in and out of Union Station. I
don't know how they do that. I would tell them to eat a bag of D.
The NFL could smack a baby on TV and nobody would care.
True story. My backup plan is those little those scooters.
Yeah.
Those little bitty ones. You want to get one of those in Westport and just ride the rest of the way down?
They are encouraging it. The e-bikes,
sure.
Totally encouraging that.
Well, the e-bike's one thing, but you can hide those little scooter things behind a bush and then go back and get them later when you got to get home. The birds or whatever. You're going to die. You're going to die on city streets. You know.
But you may have a ride out of there if you don't.
I'd like to tell you I wasn't drunk enough in Austin, Texas to ride one over the bridge even. Like, it was a terrible idea.
I can't believe you.
I was
you guys
hammered.
did it.
Well, we were drunk and it was a long walk. But yeah, no, from the I can't remember the bar district all the way across the bridge to the other side where the we did it all over the place. We went down to where I can't remember the name of the streets. Anybody who's been to Austin knows there's the street where they turned all the old houses into bars and restaurants. We rode them over there, then back to the bar district, and then down the bridge where the Bats are across to the other side. Oh no, it was a terrible idea. Not to mention the fact how Sass, who's never ridden anything.
Oh yeah.
Other than, poor choice of boys.
Yeah. I told you we were one of the stops at a port on the cruise, and we had another set of friends we were with because the guys went jet skiing, I went paddle boarding, and they were going to leave, and they're like, yeah, we're just getting scooters, we're out of here. And I looked at him, I go, we've never ridden scooters, and we're not in our own land. Will you just hear me out when I say let's get a cab?
Like mini bike scooters.
Yeah.
No, we were riding like those little push, like razors with electric motors.
Jesus. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and spring for this cab.
You were safer on the scooters. the thing I'm talking about have 3-inch, wheels for inline skates. You're like, yeah, it's a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible idea.
Did you hear the additional great news that came down yesterday? ESPN originally announced we will have more special guests coming to Kansas City to help with the NFL draft this week.
Who?
The Jonas Brothers will be part of the ABC primetime opening night telecast.
What? Whose wife is programming this?
It is something for everyone, John. When they come to
who? I mean, honestly,
the Grammy Award-winning trio set to join the host of College Game Day. They're not just co-hosting. The brothers will be sharing their unreleased song "Celebrate." You can watch the Jonas Brothers and the NFL Draft live on KMBC 9 TV starting Thursday night at 7, or of course in person for free at Union Station.
The Jonas Brothers. How does this happen?
You're welcome.
I
feel good. This almost feels just as good as you telling Mike about Tucker being fired. I feel good telling you that the Jonas Brothers are coming.
The difference is he loved Tucker. The NFL thing, I'm like, literally, the only thing I find interesting is the size of it and Motley Crue. Other than that, and I probably at this point will go before the festivities start with DSS, look around, and then I shan't go back. Like, I'm not going to go mess with the Motley Crue thing.
Oh, that's a lot.
There's no parking. There's no way to get down there. I'm not dealing with that. I couldn't care less. I feel like the beer and liquor sales are going to be unavailable. You know what I mean?
I understand.
And I think the worst possible idea is to ever see Motley Crue sober. I think that sounds terrible.
How about you say that?
Yeah. See, if you're drinking and you squint your ears just right, it still sounds like Motley Crue. This is with proper alcohol, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
sober. Like, don't do it sober, man. Do yourself a favor. Get lit before you see that. Get lit and keep your childhood in check.
I will say, full Motley Crue band at the Kaufman last year at the K had it all worked out.
Sure you did.
Sounded great.
Yeah. And I know
100% why.
Yeah, because you had your own.
Oh, no, that's true, but there may have been some track.
Oh, yeah. No, you listen, you doubled down. You made sure you were cool in case they weren't. But then they did the right thing and most likely used a complete CD and just,
Fine.
Yeah, keep my dream alive.
They did keep the dream alive.
That's all I'm asking.
We're old enough to be able to accept that.
I really can.
I can go down that road and I know what I'm going to get. I feel that I'd like to go down that road and not be disappointed-ish.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that one.
In other music news, Aerosmith's official website has launched a countdown clock that is scheduled to hit 0 come Monday, May 1st. There's no hints on what fans can expect. It's widely believed that it will coincide with the announcement of their upcoming tour. Last week, you may remember.
Not Steven Tyler's arrest.
Or release from rehab. God. You did it.
There's no way around that whole... When he took the little kid with him that got the little girl emancipated from her parents or whatever and took the guardianship so he could travel. It's in his book. It's in his book talking about how he put her in little Bo Peep outfits.
He was also her guardian, right?
Yes, that's right.
Because her parents did sign her over.
Do
correct?
what Daddy says.
Apparently protecting her from the inside.
Wow.
Sure, that could be another thing.
I'm protecting you from the inside.
Last week, Aerosmith's Joe Perry teased that the band will kick off a 40-plus date U.S. tour in September that will stretch into 2024. Earlier this month, you may remember Joe Perry did say that it's unlikely Aerosmith's upcoming tour will feature the return of drummer Joey Kramer, who announced back in March of 2022 that he would sit out the band's concerts last year so he could, quote, focus his full attention on his family during these uncertain times, end quote. In other news, Pennsylvania State Police say criminal charges have been filed against jackass star Bam Margera. He allegedly punched his brother in the face during a fight at their home in Philly, then took off on foot. Police were called to the home in response to a domestic disturbance shortly before 11 a.m. on Sunday. Bam's brother Jesse told police that Bam had pounded on and kicked his locked bedroom door, punched him in the eye, nose, and ear during a later confrontation in the kitchen. Bam is charged with simple assault, harassment, 4 counts of terroristic threats. And finally, Republic, Missouri police officers were called to a Price Cutter to respond, which is a store, by the way, to call about robbery in which a man held an employee at gunpoint so he would be served meat. Here's the backstory. 70-year-old Larry Gene Gay of Springfield, Missouri, was the hungry man involved in this. The officers responded to the scene, ordered Gay to get out of his truck so they could arrest him. After he was taken into custody, an officer removed a loaded semi-automatic pistol with a bullet in the chamber from his hip holster. As they were interviewing Gay, he said that he went to the Price Cutter.
I'm hearing you correct, right?
Yes, Larry Gene Gay.
Well, I think we all know how we arrived at this place.
Mr. Gay was on a mission for meat.
A lifetime of Mr. Gay looking for meat. Yeah.
He was on a mission for meat when he went to the Price Cutter store to buy steaks.
Ha! Gay!
He said he told the good man who was helping him that he needed to weigh the steaks. However, the meat department was closed. Gay said at that point he showed his gun, quote, just to say, I'm not stealing. I need you here to help me to get a couple of these steaks. I'm not going to hurt you, end quote.
Where's the beef?
Officer asked Gay why he thought the people in the store called police and told them that he was threatening them with a gun. He said, I have no idea. Employee said that he received a call from the meat department about a man packing, obviously his own meat he planned on stealing. Employee approached Gay, told him that he could not take it out of there. Gay got upset, said he was going to keep doing what he was doing. Employee said he was not going to help him with this meat. He said, once he held the gun to my throat, I decided to comply. Gay was arrested. I'm Nycki Pace for the Johnny Dare Morning Show.